The morning of the wedding felt quiet, not peaceful, not nervous, just still. She sat in front of the mirror while someone curled her hair, pinned her veil, adjusted the dress that had taken 6 months to choose. "Are you excited?" someone asked. She smiled. Of course. The lie came easy now. 3 nights ago, she couldn't breathe. That's when she saw it, not by accident, not suspicion. A message, then another, then a threat that never should have existed. Photos, late-night confessions, promises that sounded exactly like the ones he made to her. The worst part, the other woman didn't even know. She had stared at the screen for a long time, waiting to feel something loud: rage, heartbreak, anything. But what came instead? It was clear. By morning, she wasn't crying. She was planning. She met the other woman that same day. No screaming, no drama, just truth laid out between them like evidence in a courtroom. At first, the girl didn't believe her. Then she showed her everything. The timestamps, the lies, the overlap, the silence that followed. That was enough. "Do you still want to marry him?" the other woman asked quietly. She thought about it. Then she said something unexpected. "Yes, but not for the reason anyone would think." The wedding day arrived like nothing was wrong. Guests filled the venue. Laughter echoed. Glasses clinked. He stood at the front, adjusting his suit, smiling at everyone who came to celebrate him. Every now and then, he checked his phone, still playing both sides. Even today, back in the bridal room, she stood alone for a moment. Just her and the mirror. She barely recognized the woman staring back. Not because she was broken, but because she wasn't. "You ready?" someone called. She picked up her bouquet. Hidden inside, folded carefully, was everything he thought would stay buried. The music started. Doors opened. Every head turned. She walked down the aisle slowly, steady, eyes locked ahead. He smiled the moment he saw her. Relief washed over his face, like he'd been holding his breath for days, like he thought he got away with it. She almost laughed. The ceremony began. The officiant spoke about love, commitment, trust, words that sounded hollow now. Then came the vows. He went first. Of course he did. "I promise to always be honest with you," he said. Her fingers tightened slightly around the bouquet. "I promise to stay faithful, to protect what we've built." A few guests wiped tears. Someone whispered, "They're perfect." He looked at her like he meant every word. That was the most impressive part. The performance. Then it was her turn. She took a small breath, smiled gently. "I wrote my own vows." Soft laughter from the crowd. The officiant nodded. "Go ahead." She unfolded the paper from inside her bouquet, the same paper that held the truth. "I promise to honor honesty," she began softly. Her voice is calm, controlled, "especially the honesty you showed at 2:14 a.m. last Thursday." The shift was immediate, subtle, but there. His smile flickered. A few people glanced at each other, confused. "I promise to remember the nights you said you were working late," she continued, "and the hotel on 5th Street you seemed to work from so often." The room went still. His face strained, just slightly. "Hey," he whispered under his breath, but she didn't stop. "I promise to never forget how you told her." She glanced briefly at the paper, "that you loved her more when I wasn't around." A gasp. Someone dropped a fork. Now the silence was heavy, unavoidable. She lifted her eyes from the paper, not to him, to everyone else. "See, I almost made a mistake today," she said. Her voice didn't shake. "I almost married someone I didn't actually know." The officiant shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe we should." She raised her hand slightly, still calm, still in control. "But I figured," she continued, "if I'm going to stand up here and promise my life to someone." A pause. "Everyone deserves to know exactly who he is first." The doors behind them opened. Heads turned. The other woman walked in. Slow, steady, certain. Gasps spread through the room like a wave. He stepped back. "Wait, what is this?" The two women stood on opposite sides of him now. No chaos, no screaming, just the truth. "You told her I was crazy." the bride said quietly. You told me she meant nothing. The other woman spoke for the first time. You told me she meant nothing. He looked between them, panic rising fast now. This isn't what it looks like. She let out a small breath, almost bored. It's exactly what it looks like. She folded the paper slowly, carefully, like closing a chapter. Don't worry, she added. I didn't bring this up here to argue. She reached back into her bouquet, pulled out an envelope, and these, she held it out to him, aren't vows. His hands shook as he took it. Annulment papers, she said, already signed this morning. The room was dead silent. No anger, no second chances. Just gone. By morning, it wasn't just personal anymore. It was public. People at work had seen it. Friends had chosen sides. And silence? That was the loudest response of all. Because no one defended him. You don't get to humiliate me in private and celebrate in public, she added. So I adjusted the setting. He opened his mouth to speak. Nothing came out. She stepped back, looked at him one last time. Not angry, not heartbroken. Done. The officiant whispered, What do you want to do? She smiled softly. Simple, final. I don't. And just like that she turned. She walked down the aisle alone. No one moved. No one spoke. Behind her, everything unraveled. The whispers, the stares, the truth settling into every corner of the room. And for the first time, he wasn't in control of the story anymore. The doors closed behind her. The music had stopped. The air felt wrong, heavy. At first, no one moved. Then the whispers started. Quiet, sharp, spreading fast. Is that true? Did you know? Oh my God. He stood at the altar, still holding the envelope, still frozen. Say something, his mother whispered from the front row. But what could he say? There was nothing left to twist, nothing left to hide. Across the room, the other woman didn't look at him. Not anymore. She had already stepped away. That was the part he didn't expect. Wait, he called, his voice cracking now. But she didn't stop. Neither of them did. For the first time, he was alone in a room full of people. The officiant quietly stepped down. The photographer lowered their camera. No one wanted to capture this. His best man avoided eye contact. His friends shifted uncomfortably. Some guests started leaving. Slow at first, then faster. Because the celebration was over. And the truth, it made people uncomfortable to stay. He looked down at the envelope again. Like maybe it would change. Like maybe this wasn't real. But it was. Signed. Final. Clean. She had thought of everything. Later that night, his phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Not with support. With questions. Screenshots were already spreading. Clips from the ceremony. Messages people had recorded. He watched his own lies play back in pieces. Out of order. Out of context. But somehow, worse that way. He tried calling her. Straight to voicemail. Again. Blocked. The other woman? Gone too. Her last message was short. You didn't just lie to her, you lied to me too. No anger. No second chances. Just gone. By morning, it wasn't just personal anymore. It was public. People at work had seen it. Friends had chosen sides. And silence? That was the loudest response of all. Because no one defended him. A week later, he sat alone in the apartment they picked together. Half empty now. Because anything that mattered, it was hers. Her side of the closet? Gone. Photos? Gone. Even the small things, the ones he never noticed, gone. Like she had already been leaving. Long before the wedding, he checked his phone again. Still nothing. No closure. No fight. No second chance to explain. Just silence. And that's when it hit him. Not at the altar. Not when the truth came out. Now. Because the worst part wasn't losing her. It wasn't an embarrassment. It wasn't even being exposed. It was this. She didn't care enough to come back. She didn't stay to watch him suffer. Didn't argue. Didn't cry. She just moved on. Clean. Final. Unbothered. And there was nothing he could do about it. Because she didn't just walk away from the wedding. She walked away from him like he never mattered. And for the first time in his life, that was something he couldn't fix.